What's going on, everybody? I want to talk about a new Bitcoin miner that I haven't talked about before. And this is an interesting one because they also stake Ethereum, so it gives you a little bit of exposure to Ethereum. So we're going to take a look at btdigital, or btbt. And we're also going to take a look at this Grayscale spot ETF versus SEC news. And as I said, btdigital has Bitcoin and they also stake their Ethereum. They do actively stake their Ethereum to generate yields off of that. And this is what they call their btdigital flywheel. It shows you sort of their order of operations. They stake their Ethereum, accumulate staking rewards, use those rewards to redeploy assets, such as their sustainably powered Bitcoin miners, which then gives them Bitcoin mining rewards. They take that and turn it into more ETH, stake that ETH, and the cycle continues. Now keep in mind that this is a smaller Bitcoin mining company, and they do expect to reach a 2.6 exahash goal by the end of October 2023, very soon. And now they expect to reach 3.5 exahash by the end of December. And this is their most recent earnings. This was dropped on August 15th. They say that their balance sheet remains debt-free, and they do maintain a healthy liquidity position, meaning they do have cash. And they are currently holding about $19 million in cash, and of course there's their Bitcoin holdings as well, and Ethereum holdings, which they currently own 613 Bitcoin and 11,738 Ethereum, with a current value of about 18.7 million on their Bitcoin and 22.7 million of Ethereum. And I do find this company a bit interesting because their Bitcoin miners are located in Iceland. And they also entered hosting agreements in New York in 2 different locations, Messina and Plattsburgh, with an additional 10 megawatts of mining capacity at each. And they're also going to be provided with 4 megawatts in Canada. So I like the fact that they're diversified in different locations. I think that's a positive thing. And the fact that they're diversified into more than just Bitcoin. They also stake Ethereum. I think that's another interesting thing as well. And let me know down below in the comments if you know of another miner that does this. And looking at the chart on btdigital, just like many other Bitcoin miners, just like many other small caps, this has been in an uptrend since the beginning of the year. It saw its golden cross back in March, and recently, since the beginning of August, it has been pulling back a bit. It is currently still holding over the 200 MA. This is this green line here. However, it is under a descending 50 MA. And I do suspect here we're going to see a little consolidation, or we already are, and then we're either going to break out from this 270 area, or we're going to break under this roughly 230 area. So I would be watching for this right now. I do think they're going to have a breakout soon in either direction. Looking at the MACD and RSI, I think they are set up to run very soon. If we do get a push up, we do have a lot of room to move to the upside. And this company in upcoming earnings is expecting nearly $12 million in revenue, and that would be a record-breaking quarter for the year, but not their record-breaking quarter throughout history. They have had some better quarters in the previous bull run, but it is nice to see that they've had consistent revenue growth throughout this year. And as Bitcoin moves up in price, as Ethereum moves up in price, they should continue to see increased revenue and eventually have a record-breaking quarter of all time. Now, I do want to show you the EMAs. They are all bullish, meaning they are in the right sequence. However, we are now under all 3 of them. So if we continue pulling down, we will eventually see these cross, which we don't want to see that. And what I am really watching for is a breakout of this consolidation, which would mean a break back over the 200 EMA. And I do want to mention this big news that we had yesterday, bringing some miners up something like 30%. CleanSpark had like a 20% day, Mara had like a 28% day, Iris Energy went up 25%. But basically the court sided with Grayscale. And this doesn't mean a spot ETF is approved yet. However, it does mean that the SEC has to give another valid reason why they don't want to approve this Grayscale spot ETF. And I want to bring you guys a couple of parts of this article that I find very important to read. And it gives you an idea of what's going on. It gives you an idea of what can likely happen. The commission failed to adequately explain why it approved the listing of futures ETFs, or ETPs, exchange traded products, but not Grayscale's proposed Bitcoin ETP. And in the absence of a coherent explanation, this unlike regulatory treatment of like products is unlawful. Let's take a look at this quote. The bottom line is that while the SEC can try to take the case to the Supreme Court, they have no other avenue to deny Grayscale's application. If the SEC changed their rationale for denying the application, it would appear even more arbitrary, because the SEC has already put their best argument forward and the Court of Appeals rejected it. And Dave Weisberger, CEO of CoinRoutes, I like the last name, it virtually guarantees they will approve BlackRock and Fidelity, he says, and that Grayscale may need to refile, but they will almost certainly be approved as well. Let me know what you guys think about this news with the SEC and Grayscale. I think it's a great step in the right direction. However, we're not there yet. We still need to wait for the final decision. But the SEC is in hot water now, and if they're going to deny this, they need to come up with a real valid excuse, a valid reason why this should not be approved when other similar products with 99% correlation have been approved previously. And I do think this will positively affect Bitcoin. It'll bring institutional investing. It'll bring more of a mainstream adoption, and it'll obviously help out all these Bitcoin mining companies. And speaking of Bitcoin mining companies, what do you think about Digital, btbt? Are you currently invested in this one? I don't have a position yet. I currently have CleanSpark and Iris, but I am considering a third Bitcoin miner. And I do like the fact that these guys have no debt. They stake Ethereum, so that gives a little bit of a, diversification, if you will. And also, I like how small cap it is, meaning that if money does flow into the space, this will dramatically move upwards in my opinion. But let me know your thoughts down below about all of this. Consider hitting the like, subscribe, ring the notification if you're still here. Thanks as always for watching, guys, and I'll catch you a bit later.